Hi. So today we're going to be reading from 2 Kings chapter 6, and we're going to be starting at, let me find the verse here, verse 17. This is the story about Elisha, and Elisha and his servant. And here we go, verse 15. When the servant of the man of God, that's Elisha, got up and went out early the next morning, an army with horses and chariots had surrounded the city. "Oh no, my lord, what shall we do?" the servant asked. "Don't be afraid," the prophet answered. "Those who are with us are more than those who are with them." And Elisha prayed, "Open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see." Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. As the enemy came down toward him, Elisha prayed to the Lord, "Strike this army with blindness." So he struck them with blindness as Elisha had asked. So the first thing that I want to say today is that things are not always what they seem. In this particular instance, what the servant saw was an army coming to him that was about to destroy him. But that wasn't reality. So things aren't always what they seem. The actual reality was what Elisha was able to see, and that was that there were chariots of fire. I don't even know what that looks like, but horses and chariots of fire surrounding the mountains around them, and they outnumbered the army of the enemy. So that's what Elisha saw when he woke up. He didn't. This is an amazing story because he didn't tell anyone. He didn't do anything about it. I guess he was just going about doing his morning routine when his servant says we're in trouble, and he's like, "Oh no, we're not." So Elisha had faith that I can't even imagine. But things aren't always as they seem. So if you're going through troubles, if you feel like you're surrounded by troubles, if you can see that army all around you that's about to attack, whatever your situation may be, whether it's financial or relational or physical, whatever that army may be for you, things aren't always as they seem, and it just might be that you're encircled by God's army of horses and chariots of fire that are going to take care of that army, of that enemy, of that problem, of that situation for you. So have faith. Ask for God to give you to open your spiritual eyes like He did for this servant, and to show you what He's going to do and how He's going to work in that situation. And the next thing that I want to point out in this story is God's grace. So I won't read it verbatim, but what happened is Elisha, the army attacked, the enemy army attacked. Elisha prayed to God and said, "God, strike them blind," and they went blind. Then Elisha said, "Follow me. You're going the wrong way. This is where you want to go." So he has this blind army following him. He leads them into the capital of Israel, which was Samaria at the time, leads them into the city gates, and then says, "Lord, open their eyes," and boom, they can see where they are, and they're in Israel, in the gates of Israel, surrounded. King of Israel says to Elisha, "Should I kill them?" And he says, "No, did you do anything to capture them? You didn't do a thing to capture these guys. You're not going to kill them. Instead, why don't you give them a feast?" And so God's instruction was not to destroy this enemy. He put them in a very vulnerable situation, and these were the bad guys. They wanted to kill the people of God. But God showed them mercy, and then even had His king feed them a feast and let them go. And then the very last verse of this section says, so the bands from Aram, those were the bad guys, the Aramites, stopped raiding Israel's territory. So God showed them grace and had Israel feed them. They went on their way, went back home, and the problems stopped. They quit raiding Israel's territory. So God showed us grace in that situation by not killing the enemy, but allowing them to go free, and in fact even blessing them with a feast. So that's just an example of how God loves people, and He does have infinite grace for us, just like He did these guys who wanted to kill and murder the Israelites and had been raiding them for years and years. So a couple of lessons today. Things aren't always what they seem, and God is gracious even to those who maybe don't deserve it. So hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day.